The ingredients to cooking fudge are half and half, white sugar, unsweetened baker's chocolate, unsalted butter, corn syrup, and vanilla extract. We're going to take all the ingredients and put them in a square pan and make fudge. We're coarsely cutting the chocolate to put in the fudge. We need 3 1-ounce squares of unsweetened chocolate. This is the 1 cup of half and half, which we're pouring in to the chocolate and sugar mix. Kind of looks just like sugar, but there's chocolate in there. Cookies and cream. Okay. We're stirring sugar and half and baker's chocolate with corn syrup and salt. And this is the mixture, which will, after it's melted, be put into the baking pan and become fudge. Right now, the fudge is cooking undisturbed until it reaches the softball stage, which is a temperature in baking where the mixture is kind of like congealed and harder than it was before, but it still can have things added to it. And that's when we're going to add the vanilla and the butter. Right now we're testing to see if it's in softball stage, which means we put it in here and then it should come together when it's in the water. So now we're going to group it together and it should turn into a little ball and it does. And then now it's like together. Right here is when we tried before and it wasn't ready, so it just fell apart. But if we take it out of the water, it should fall apart again. Yeah, perfect. There it goes. This is the second batch that doesn't have corn syrup in it, and it's taken a much shorter time to bubble and change form. The first batch that we made, and it already sat for 30 minutes and then developed like a skin on top, and then we put the butter and vanilla in, and now I have to wait for it to harden again, and then we put it in the pan. It's in the process of setting, which is why it's getting much thicker. Okay, now we're pouring the fudge on top of marshmallows, and it's set, as you can see. And we're putting it on top of Reese's Pieces and cookies and cream Hershey's Bites, just to get variety. Now we are, with a grease spatula, pressing the fudge down on top of the toppings, and we're just going to leave it out to sit for several hours. We're pouring now the second fudge into a pan, and this one is a lot less thick and it's much more grainy. I don't know if it's visible through here, but it didn't congeal like the other one did because the corn syrup wasn't there. Okay. Enjoy the Victoria Justice song in the back. This is the first fudge. It has the corn syrup, and you can see that it's like hardened into like what real fudge is supposed to be like. So this is the first piece of fudge. This is the second piece, and because it didn't have the corn syrup, it couldn't harden. It didn't crystallize because the corn syrup makes the glucose in the mixture crystallize. So this one kind of just turned out to be like mushy, as you can see. Ew. So that is the difference. This is solid, and this is not.
This relates to what we learned because, like we study many chemical reactions, the lack of corn syrup in the second batch caused the glucose in the fudge to not crystallize and therefore not set in the correct form. The conclusion we take from this experiment is that chemistry relates to everyday situations like cooking dessert because, like elements on the periodic table, Food also has its own chemical makeup.